I'm Adriana Vasquez, and I'm co-founder and co-CEO of Lilu. I started programming at the age of 16. I was the only girl in my class, but I loved it. Our goal with Lilu was to make breast pumping more comfortable, less painful, and more efficient. How that is embodied in the product is by having automated breast massage. So we developed this very efficient, comfortable, lightweight breast massager. I was a part of the Integrated Product Design Masters, which was a really small program. And I started to look for classes beyond to deepen my knowledge of engineering, realizing that what really first brought me into technology was that love to help people and build products. So I took an embedded systems and robotics class where I met my co-founder, Sujay.
Adriana had already started looking into breastfeeding and breast pumping, having seen her friends, family, and colleagues go through breastfeeding and the transition to early parenthood and struggle with that process. When she told me about it, I was very surprised to find out about the struggles and the challenges that moms face.
Breastfeeding and breast pumping is something that probably most of us don't think about until you have to do it or someone really close has to do it. And coincidentally, when I started my master's, a professor of mine, a friend at the master's, and some other colleagues were also breast pumping. And I paused and realized that all of these really smart, really talented designers, engineers, and women that had access to the latest and greatest breast pumping tools were struggling and having difficulties making it work. So that really begged the question, how are we expecting moms to be able to breastfeed and breast pump for 1 year when the reality is that most moms have to return to work within the first 3 months of giving birth?
During that class, we worked on many cool robotics projects together, and for the final project for that class, we were tasked to discover one major problem that people face and leverage technology to address that. I went from being a nerd working on robotics class projects all the way to embarking on this very important mission to change the way breastfeeding works around the world. We set on that mission together and we ended up creating our very first prototypes in that very class.
Something that we talk a lot about with Lilu is the breast pump is this device that doesn't really mimic what the baby is doing. So our big insight was that massage is such a natural part of breastfeeding and breast pumping. If we could automate breast massage, we knew we had something that could really make it easier and make a difference for breast pumping moms.
And our product, by mimicking the motions recommended by lactation experts and adding that extra element of stimulation and breast massage on top of the suction, is able to faithfully mimic what a baby does and help moms produce more milk more effectively. We first heard about the National Science Foundation through UPenn's PCI, Penn Center of Innovation, which is a regional I-Corps node. When we first heard about the NSF I-Corps program, we were amazed to see that there was a program funded by the government that was basically to help fund startup companies. So that was amazing for us.
So many people don't think of NSF, SBIR, STTR as sources of funding, right? But they're there. I would say to entrepreneurs that know that what they're building is gonna be impactful for society. I think those are the innovations that the NSF and these programs are made for. So I think for us, like Lilu, it's a very interesting business, funding medical devices for women's health. Not so many investors are brave enough to go into this, but I think that's precisely why these programs were created for. Companies like Lilu that are doing some really intense R&D that a lot of people are not quite ready to make bets in those spaces. These awards and these grants have been just so impactful for us.
And once we achieved that proof of concept with phase 1, we applied for phase 2, and now with the phase 2 award, we're continuing our development on our massage technology, and we're excited to be close to launching our product in the coming months.
There was a mom who once told us, it often feels like I'm here alone and that nobody's taking care of me, but it feels that Lilu is taking care of me. I think our excitement for the phase 1 award was here. When it comes to phase 2, it's 10 times more because you're one step closer to again, making that next product a reality. And really, without funding and support from the NSF, it's very likely that the outcome of the story would look very different. It's very exciting, very rewarding. We made it thanks to funding from the America's Seed Fund, powered by the National Science Foundation.